Here we are at the Resuscitation Council meeting in Prague, where I'm about to demonstrate the use of the Smart Resuscitation Training System. This system has been designed to help people avoid mask leakage when they are bagging a subject. The system comprises of a pneumotachograph head, two mannequins, one of which has an artificial lung which has no leakage built into it. The transducer box contains the two transducers for measuring flow and pressure, and there is a link then to a computer where we can display signals like pressure, flow rate and volume. To use the system, we select a mask which is appropriate in terms of size to the mannequin we intend to use. We position it carefully on the face, apply the appropriate pressure, and then apply a volume. The traces then start to show us volume on the bottom channel, flow on the middle channel, and pressure on the top channel, along with an index of leakage percentage on the right-hand side of the screen, as shown over here. On the screen we have the pressure channel at the top, the flow channel in the middle, and the volume channel at the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is to use the resuscitation bag in order to produce some traces on the screen. The volume traces that you can see there have a rising phase which represents the volume of air passing into the lung, and then a dropping phase which represents the volume of air which is pressed back out of the lung as the lung recoils. And ideally both should be the same length, which means that the dropping section of the trace there should go back to zero. If there is leakage, then that doesn't happen, and we end up with a trace which then drops sharply back down. On the right hand side of the screen here we have the leakage percentage shown along with a smiley face. Within a certain region we have a green smiley face. If the leakage is slightly greater, then we have an orange smiley face, and then lastly, if it's a very large leakage, we have a red smiley face with a bit of a scowl on it. So these are the traces that are represented by the manoeuvre I've just undertaken. Pressure on the top, flow in the middle, and the volume trace at the back. The traces that are shown there are quite reasonable because the leakage rate is at a low rate. But what I'll try and do now is to present some traces where we have some leakage, just to show the difference. So continuing to watch the screen, I'm going to try and make some leakage. So we're continuing to measure again now, and you can see that the trace is going up the way, recording a large volume, but is not going back down to zero, and therefore we have a very large percentage leakage. So when I correct that now to give a good seal and start to present volumes in the way that we hope to get, the end result is a leakage rate that is small. Even a slight movement of the mask in either direction, as I've just done, can result in quite a large leakage. So it is very important to keep the pressure on the mask, to keep the mask steady, and to produce a nice trace. So if we have a nice green face at the end, that is good. If we have a trace that looks like that, then that is bad. So the system, as it comes with the two mannequins, the transducer unit, the pneumotachograph and the software, can be supplied along with a range of masks if people want to use a range of masks for training. And the end result is hopefully a system that provides real positive feedback to people being trained to avoid mask leakage. Although I have been using a bag for this demonstration, you can also use the system with a neopuff unit instead of the bag. And we can supply a range of different sizes of masks if your hospital uses a range of different sizes of masks. But really that's the basics of the system is very straightforward. It demonstrates very clearly how important it is to keep the mask to position it, first of all, in the proper place and to keep it steady while you're ventilating, and how easy it is, in fact, to get it wrong. So with the feedback that you get from the computer screen, you're then able to teach someone how to ventilate properly. Thank you for your attention.